We need to solve this equation over 0 to 360 degrees. And if you notice, we have multiple layers of sine here. So what was our little trick when we have lots of different sines and sine squareds and we're solving equations? We're going to turn the sines into s's and see how that's going to help us figure this problem out. So this will help us with the factoring. If we turn sine into s squared, a lot of times my students can see how to factor this a little bit better. What I notice is that 21, 35, and 14 are all divisible by 7, so I'll factor a constant of 7 out. That gives me 3s squared plus 5s minus 2 is equal to 0. And then however you need to factor this, go ahead and use whatever skill you would like. I use the guess and check method, and that is going to give me the following factors. Now, 7 doesn't have an x in it, so it does not need to be set equal to 0 because, well, 7 doesn't equal 0. So that's not going to give us our answers. So we set each factor that has a variable in it equal to 0. This shouldn't be an x, it should be an s, sorry. So we get s is equal to 1/3, and we get s is equal to -2. But remember, s is an s. This was a sine question. So we get sine of x is equal to 1/3, and we get sine of x is equal to -2. So we have two equations that need to be solved in order to find all of the answers to this. Well, the first one that we're going to look at is this guy over here on the right. Sine of x equals -2. Remember, what answers come out of sine of x? Well, you get ratios that are as low as -1 and as high as 1. That's the range. -2 is not in that range for sine of x. So if we try to do the sine inverse of -2, we're going to get that it is undefined because there is no answer to that. -2 is not in the range of sine of x. So for this portion of the question, no answer exists. However, for the first part, 1/3 is between -1 and 1. So we will get answers for this one. What do we need to do to solve this problem? Well, we're going to find our reference angle. Remember, our reference angle will be sine inverse of that ratio 1/3. We'll put that into our calculator. So sine inverse of 1/3 is going to be 19.47 degrees. So 19.47 degrees is our reference angle. If we think all students take calculus, we're going to need answers in quadrant 1 and in quadrant 2. Well, 19.47 is in quadrant 1, so that's our first answer. To get our second answer, which is in quadrant 2, this is our terminal side. We need this angle when we know the reference angle down here is 19.47 degrees. So we're going to take 180 and we're going to subtract 19.47, and that will give us an answer of 160.53 degrees. So our two answers that come out of this question are 19.47 degrees and 160.53 degrees.